if doing my job cost me my job, then I leave with my head held high.
Incumbent Harris County District Attorney Kim Ogg absolutely crushed in a low turnout Democratic primary. It was a race which drew a deeply coordinated campaign from the decarceration hard left of the party, which backed winner Shawn Tier, who pledged a new era, and I quote, of empathetic criminal justice.
The voters are coming with us. We are going to change Harris County.
One thing that will not change is the congressional representative for District 18, Sheila Jackson Lee, bouncing back from her mayoral loss to easily best challenger Amanda Edwards and virtually assure herself of a 16th term of office. Panel, what's your point on these marquee local outcomes? I'm going to start with you, Marcus.
We have a new DA coming in. You know, we still have an election in November. But as for now, the incumbent will not be there anymore. And the incumbent will be, as I said, you know, last week when we said what's going to happen in 18, I said we'll know on the 5th of March. And we found out that the incumbent is still the reigning Congresswoman.
All right, Chris, eager to hear what you have to say.
So, to me, Kim Ogg, who I've known for a very, very long time, she was fighting battles on too many fronts. She was fighting with her own party and the investigations within her office that led to some high-profile firings and prosecution decisions that were made in her office led to her downfall. The public lost trust in the decision-making inside of her office, and I think that's what cost her her job. And that was the mistake that I think she made internally that cost her her job. I think Kim is a good prosecutor. I just think that internal decision-making and the upheaval in her office is what cost her her job. And on the 18th, I just want to remind you and everyone here that after she lost the mayor's race and everyone was counting her out, I sat right here and said, never count Sheila Jackson Lee out of the 18th because she knows that district and those people love her.
I'm going to throw this question at Holly because Chris said lost the public's trust. She lost the trust of folks who voted in the Democratic primary.
Well, that's true. That's fair. That's fair.
That's fair. Make too, because I don't think she lost the public's trust. I think she lost the trust of the base of the Democratic Party. It's an interesting contrast with what happened in the mayoral race, where it was nonpartisan and you had a lot of independents and Republicans participating in that race. This is strictly the Democratic Party, and this sends a message to the public that this is what the Democratic Party wants, is this much more lenient approach to criminal justice. Shawn Tier talked about how he wants to degrade a lot of felonies down to misdemeanors, and I like the word you used, decarceration. It doesn't bode well for public safety in this region, and I'm wondering how it's going to work with Whitmire's renewed vow to enforce public safety and provide a safer standard of living in Houston.
All right, Senorita, we just went through a crime wave, and much of what happened was blamed on reformed judges who put people out on bond. I mean, in your community, was there substantial support for Shawn Tier, and was it from that left side of the
definitely
the Democratic Party?
Support in our neighborhood for Shawn Tier, a lot. Support for Kim Ogg, but I was really surprised by the landslide of victory for Shawn Tier. I think Shawn, the worries that he's going to be, releasing, downgrading some of these cases and letting out more folks out in the streets and crime rate. The crime problem is very comprehensive. We just can't say it based on the DA and his decisions. Shawn Tier, I think he's going to do a great job. He's a former prosecutor. He knows the system. He's going to hit the ground running. He's going to take care of the intake system, which is flawed, immediately. So I think he's more moderate. And those folks that are worried that he's going to be over here on the left, and some folks are worried, but he's a good guy. I think he's going to get the job done. And let's not create fear. Let's not create fear in our community. We already have enough fear. He's going to do a good job.
I think the Republican candidate in this race will try to create some fear.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, there's still a race. There's still a race. You know, so with the DA's race, I saw a lot of the commentary post-election, and I went back and looked at Mark Jones's 2022 polling that showed that she had 40% unfavorable rating. So this is something that has existed for a while. They challenged her last time, so it's not surprising, and she didn't do much since that time to gain more support. I mean, at the end, she was running anti-George Soros ads in a Democratic primary. I mean, in my opinion, that's negligent for a consultant to tell you to do that in a Democratic primary. And I will say that she did lose support among a lot of the community. I was at that citywide PIP meeting that I mentioned where crime victims' families were criticizing her for not responding to them. And I will also say, to Sergio's point about being fearful about Shawn Tier, well, let's not forget that the legislature will not hesitate to put handcuffs, see what I did there, on the DA's office if they step out of line.